What's the difference between debt and tax? If you have a loan debt, it's a product that you've consumed. So it's kind of a punishment for something you have done. Consuming the product was your crime, and so now you have to pay the penalty of the debt. But taxes is money, your money that you pay to the government as your own part of social responsibility. Money that is a result of your own valuable efforts and contribution to society. And so tax cuts is the government saying, because you've contributed to society already by creating value, we won't take as much as we could have taken from your own money. So it's simple. On one hand, you have someone who is paying penalty for a crime they committed, if you think of it that way. And on the other hand, you have someone who is not able to reap all the benefits of the good that they have done.
What's going on, everyone? It's Talks with Kenny here today. We're reacting to kind of a video. I know I got a lot of flack for my the Bernie Sanders socialist agenda about the student loan forgiveness. So I found out a video, interesting video about student loan debt versus corporate tax cuts and the liberal confusion. This is going to be from Thomas Sowell, who's one of my favorite economics guy to reference. How Thomas Sowell sees the world, I see it in a very similar light.
Obama has an absolute talent for saying things that make no sense, but not only sound plausible, but inspiring.
Hello, freedom lovers, and welcome back. This promises to be an interesting one. What does the statement, the rich should pay their fair share, even mean? What's the logic behind that statement?
The logic behind that statement is rooted in entitlement, right? And this is my main issue with the socialists and those who crusade for student loan forgiveness, because it seems like socialists don't seem to understand is that wealth is not created by the government.
Nope.
It's not. No matter how much you're going to try to give government credit or whatever. Like I said before, in my view, the government is like a referee. You don't win the game because of the referee. The referee is just there to make sure everyone's playing by the same rules. That's it.
Bruh.
And people, socialists, will try to, or statists is a better term to say, will claim that, oh, it's because of the government these corporations are allowed to do all their stuff. No, it's not. It's just like saying, oh, it's because of laws in the books is why people follow the law. No, there's different reasons for why people follow the law. They could be a good person and abide by the rules that they in the society that they live in. There's a lot of reasons for that. And this statement that the rich should pay their fair share, how much you want the rich to pay? There's stats out there that says the top 10% of taxpayers pay 90. They're responsible for 90% of the tax revenues in the country.
Bruh.
So you're saying, if I told you 10 people were responsible for 90% of the income that comes into the community, you're really going to say that they should still pay more taxes?
Bruh.
It doesn't make sense.
That's why I'm saying the tax rich stuff comes from entitlement. Wealth redistribution. That's what y'all want. Sorry if I messed that up. That's a tongue twister for me, but I digress. Let's get back into it.
What is a fair share? Like Thomas Sowell will ask, what is your fair share in what someone else has earned?
Exactly.
10%, 30%, 90%? And that is it. It stops making sense the moment you stop and think about it for a second. And that's why in this video, with the help of some commentaries from Thomas Sowell, we're going to be looking at the left's deceptive agenda as far as tax and wealth is concerned.
Tax reform should follow the Buffett rule. If you make more than $1 million a year, you should not pay less than 30% in taxes.
Who are you to decide that, bruh?
Bruh.
Oh my God. Thomas Sowell's right about this guy. Man, he makes this impossible thing sound plausible. This violates private property. And I remember there was someone in my comment section. Sorry if I don't remember your name, but he talked about something similar to what Obama's talking about. A capital cap. Okay, after you make this amount of money, we should get 100% of that money. A progressive tax cut, pretty much. A progressive tax, pretty much. And this doesn't make any sense. And then when I say, oh, socialism is like a snake eating its own tail, because end of the day, the productive people in society are going to be like, what's the point of working hard? I'm not going to work up to my full capacity because I'm not getting properly compensated for working for my full capacity. And some people actually think, oh, the economy can still work. People will still be driven by other things.
Nope.
No. Compensation is the best form of incentive. If I know, hey, Kenny, you're going to get paid $50K a year whether you become a doctor or a cashier. My butt, even though I have the potential to be a doctor, I'm going to be like, no, I'm going to go for a cashier, because what's the point? I'm going to do all this work, all these years of college. I have to take 12 years, almost 30, no, not 20 years of my life to become a doctor, and just to get paid the same amount as a cashier who can just roll out a couple days of training and I'm already good to go. I'd rather take the path of least resistance. That is economics. Bruh. But you're going to get socialists out here in my comment section being like,
How dare you?
because I dare challenge their beautiful dream. Bro, I digress. Let's get back into it.
And my Republican friend Tom Coburn is right. Washington should stop subsidizing millionaires. In fact, if you're earning $1 million a year, you shouldn't get special tax subsidies or deductions. On the other hand,
God.
if you make under $250,000 a year, like 98% of American families, your taxes shouldn't go up.
I love it.
You're the one struggling.
Tom?
When people keep their own money, that's called subsidizing them. I love it. You know, that's the brilliance of intellectuals. That they can use words in such a malleable way. They can. I mean, Obama has an absolute talent for saying things that make no sense.
Exactly.
But not only sound plausible, but inspiring. You know, we're subsidizing the oil companies when they deduct the cost of doing business in order to arrive at the figure of how much net income they have. Everybody does that.
Craziness. So yeah, your standard. Anyone who does income tax knows your standard deductions. Yes, corporations have the same right to do the same thing, bruh. But for some reason, because they're making way more money than you are, because all this is the tax rich movement and all this stuff. It all stems from envy. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. It stems from envy. You envy someone because they're making 4 times, 3 times the money you're making, and you're like, oh, you shouldn't be entitled to tax deductions like I am. Bruh. But these be the same people that talk about fairness. How's that fair? And I already broke down the stats. Top 10% pay 90% of the taxes. So then if Obama do this garbage, like if Obama was able to do this garbage, and the rich people decided, F it, I'm gonna revoke my American citizenship, you're no longer entitled to their money. Bruh. So even what Obama's saying, he's a snake oil salesman. He knows he can't really do those things because of the rich, if anyone's able to live anywhere, it's rich people. Bruh. So you do this. Let's say, oh, we're gonna tax the rich 90%. And all the rich people say, I'm no longer an American citizen. I revoke my American citizenship. What entitlement do you have to their money?
It doesn't make sense.
Like, when people talk out of their mouth, they don't understand economics. That's economics. That's human behavior. End of the day, you can create all the laws you want. But end of the day, humans are going to respond to what you do. Cause and effect. You put all this incentives for people to be underperforming, unproductive, they're going to be unproductive. For the majority of them anyway. Bruh. If you put a tax law where it's saying, hey, if you make a lot of money, we'll give you a lot of benefits because we gain benefits from it. You bring a corporation to our state, to our country. You bring in more jobs, aka more tax revenue for us. That's the rationale for tax cuts. This is why Republican presidents tend to have more tax revenues than Democratic presidents. Bruh. Because the corporations feel more comfortable giving taxes because they're like, oh, okay, I'm getting something for it in return. Trump liked to criticize Obama, and this is how I know Obama was a snake oil salesman to most people. This is why my dad said Obama was all talk. Obama put these he tried. This is what he was going for. And then when Trump was running for president, people were saying you pay 0 in taxes. He said, well, the last administration gave me loopholes to do it. Bruh. I rest my case.
So this notion, though, that if you're rich, you ought to pay more. Straightforward enough, no?
It is straightforward, but it's also straightforward nonsense.
Straightforward nonsense, indeed. All the talking points of the left will never make sense as far as this subject is concerned until we understand that underlying every single one of their talking points is the assumption that the government by default owns everything. And of course, you know where that thinking is coming from. So that's the only way in someone's mind there is no distinction between the money you made, that is your money, and the money that you owe.
Abolish private property. That's what the assumption is coming from. But if let me break it down in a more simple way. If the wealth would never have been generated by that particular person, would the government have it?
Nope.
No, they wouldn't. Right? If Jeff Bezos never existed in America, we'll never have Amazon. Therefore, the government will never have the ability to tax Amazon because Amazon doesn't exist. It's this idea where we don't want to, it seems like a lot of these political people, they don't want to understand the ability of human capital. They don't understand that. Human capital is the knowledge, experience, and skills of every individual, right? And the person should be compensated for their knowledge, skill, and experience. So if Jeff Bezos has the knowledge, skill, and experience to create Amazon, and Amazon's worth $1 billion, he's entitled to keep it because it spawned from his intellectual knowledge, experience, and skill that allowed Amazon to be where it's at today. Bruh. But you feel entitled to tax more of his money. You feel entitled that he should be giving more of his money to the government, and in effect, you'll get it, bruh.
Nope.
You're not entitled. This is entitlement. This is social entitlement, and this is the problem with student loan debt. Student loan debt is you made a decision to put yourself in debt for an outcome. You made a bad choice. You picked a music degree and went 6 figures in debt for it. When music degrees, you could have went straight into the music industry instead of doing a music degree. But you know that's for something else.
It doesn't make sense.
You call that? Oh, that's not a title. That's the college is paying their fair share. Well, okay, why doesn't the college pay it directly out of their endowments?
Nope.
No one seems to be going that route. The colleges, they made a faulty promise to students. Students went into debt for it. The colleges should pay, not taxpayers. The colleges got billions of dollars in endowments, tax-free. Bruh. But I haven't heard anyone who's for student loan forgiveness say the colleges should be paying it directly out of their endowments. They say, no, the government should do it. Bruh. I don't understand. I'm all for student loan forgiveness if it's the college is paying for it. Because when a corporation defrauds its customers, the corporation has to pay those customers, not the government. So why we don't apply that same logic to the colleges, I don't understand. Bruh. But hey, I digress. Let's get back into the video.
Which is debt. To make my point, take for example this tweet that I stumbled upon the other day. At face value, without thinking much, this could actually make sense if you just look at it. But when you start thinking, what is the difference between debt and tax? If you have a loan debt, it's a product that you've consumed. So it's kind of a punishment for something you have done. Mm-hmm. Consuming the product was your crime. And so now you have to pay the penalty of the debt.
Exactly.
But taxes is money, your money that you pay to the government as your own part of social responsibility. Mm-hmm. Money that is a result of your own valuable effort and contribution to society. And so tax cuts is the government saying, because you've contributed to society already by creating value, we won't take as much as we could have taken from your own money.
Which is incentivizing productive people to continue being productive. Oh, I'm getting a benefit for being a productive member of society. I'm going to keep being a productive member of society. But then if you keep saying, oh, we're going to keep taking more and more of your more of your pie and give that money to the people who are underperforming compared to you, because we're doing stuff relative, right? If you're doing something worth $1 million and someone's only doing something worth 6 figures, you're going, okay, but my money's going to them and I can't even benefit. If I fall into hard times because of the money I got, I don't qualify for welfare. Bruh. But my money, most of my money, right? Most of the money for welfare comes from people like me, right? And this is the incentive I'm talking about. Government can only incentivize behavior. It can't cause behavior. Popular nowadays, especially in my generation, to not want to take personal responsibility for your choices and actions. Bruh. And all I'm gonna get in the comments.
How dare you?
But end of the day, I don't.
It doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
This is reality. This is how our tax system works. This is how capitalism works.
So it's simple. On one hand, you have someone who is paying penalty for a crime they committed, if you think of it that way. And on the other hand, you have someone who is not able to reap all the benefits of the good that they have done. But then that underlines every liberal thinking. You know, we are going to help the people who are failing and who are doing wrong and committing crimes. And then
you helping them, all right. You helping them to keep being in that position. Keep being comfortable. That's what it is. It's all about comfort. We want you to be comfortable doing the decisions you're making. We don't want you to suffer any penalties for making mistakes. Bruh. I'm baffled at this point. But I digress. Let's continue.
Guys who are doing good, we're going to stop them from enjoying and benefiting from the good they have done. So hey, you make careless decisions and you're unable to pay the price for your careless choices. It's my fault. And hey, also, I made the right decisions and I'm about to enjoy the benefits. No, it's wrong if I happen to enjoy the benefits of my good choices. And underline all of that, when you take it even further, there is no such thing as erasing a debt, unless you are the creditor. But in this case, the debt is simply being passed to other people who had nothing to do with the individual choices that some people made in their lives. To the left, this is completely normal, and it's a good talking point.
No, but they often speak of people who are rich as people who happen to have money. Extremely few people happen to have money.
There aren't that many Rockefellers.
Well, but Rockefeller didn't happen to have money.
But his heirs happen to have it.
Heirs happen to have money.
So you're
but
drawing
Rockefeller, Rockefeller reduced the cost of oil to a fraction of what it had been before him.
So how is it that he can stand there in the face of this overwhelming evidence and be taken seriously? I'm not asking now about Barack Obama as an intellectual. I'm asking about the people listening to him.
Because people are not properly educated about these things. And that's the reality. America's not educated enough to actually point out when a politician is lying to their face. And this is why I like to put these videos out there. And I think I want to contribute to people learning more. I'm taking my own advice. Like, you know, I'm trying to read books, right, on politics and all that stuff, so I can be better informed. So when a politician coming here and talking to me about how he can guarantee or free student loan debt, I'm like, well, the cost of doing that is unpractical. Like, you won't be able to actually do that. But it's political grandstanding at the end of the day. That's what I'm saying. Snake oil salesman. But that's usually the Democrats. I'll claim that's mostly the Democrats, not the Republicans. The Republicans are honest with you. We can't do that. And the Democrats be like, the Republicans say they can't do that because they're not willing to do it. Bruh. And then people believe the Democrat, vote him in, and then he comes back and say, oh, I technically don't have the power to forgive student loan debt. Sorry. But he's already in office. He already got what he wants. The ends justify the means. If you could tell a politician, hey, you can lie and you'll stay in power, you don't think they'll do it? Bruh. Like, come on. And this is why I say I want a more skeptical America. Regardless if you agree with me, disagree with me, I don't care. But all I'm saying is, you see how I'm going through these videos trying to find information? I want every American to do the same. Because if America was more politically educated and had more knowledge about their system, these politicians wouldn't be able to make baseless promises like what Obama did in that video. But I digress.
That's the question of the hour. You have people who don't stop and think. You've had dumbed down education.
Exactly.
You've had propagandistic.
Oh my God. Hey, the dumbing down of education is the biggest. It's like, that's my biggest pet peeve in America today. 70% of students go to public school. I already told you, public school is the worst place to put your kids. For most, especially if it's a minority. If you're a black kid, Hispanic kid, public school is the worst place to put you in. Because public school incentivizes an environment where kids can be more disruptive. That means if you're actually trying to learn, that bad kid in the class is disrupting everybody. He affects your time to learn, right? Teachers can't properly discipline people because usually black kids are causing disturbances in class and usually getting suspended. Bruh. So the teacher don't want to be perceived as racist, so they don't discipline those kids. So the kids are more willing to act out in class and disrupt the learnings of other kids. But in charter school and private school, if that same kid did the same action that he does in public school, he'll get kicked out. Bruh. Discipline, process, systems. But they think throwing more money at public school will solve the problem. Nope. It won't. It's the process. It's the system. You need to change the system. You need to reform public school, but you can't because public school is subsidized by the government.
Education, and people. What he's saying connects with all those kinds of things.
All right.
In fact, it goes the other way too. I was just doing some research on Detroit and its decline, and they kept raising the city income tax, and every time they raised the tax rate, the tax revenues went down. In 2008, Charles Gibson put this to Obama when he was a candidate. He said, why are you for raising the tax rate on the rich? Because you often get more revenue at lower tax rates than at the higher tax rates. And he said, well, it's a question of social justice. Whereas he doesn't really care about whether the government raises more revenues. If he can get people mad at the rich and they vote for him, then it's a success.
Exactly. And this is what Americans need to understand. Liberal, Democrat, Republican, I don't care. This is what American people need to understand. That a politician, what they care about the most is to get into power. And even if what they say don't actually work, but they know it'll get your vote, they'll say it. Bruh. And this is what people need to understand. And I don't think a lot of people understand. They let these false promises thinking that, a utopia is going to happen if this person gets in. Hope and change. Hope and change. My dad was like, yo, Obama was all talk. And that stuck with me. And then seeing this, it only confirms what my father has said. Because my father actually voted for the man. Bruh. So I don't want to hear people in the comment section trying to make excuses for Obama. Look at the evidence. Argue the evidence and the facts that Thomas Sowell is bringing out here in this video. All right? Because I made these points before with the Bernie Sanders one. Oh, the tax cut is a company keeping more of its money that they generated. And people still are trying to make an argument for why student loan forgiveness should be a thing. Bruh. It's like people only want to see what they want to see, right? But I digress.
And that is the beauty of all liberal policies. They are never about solving any problem. They are not intended to get any results. You see, it's not about increasing the revenue so that more community projects can actually be done. Nah, that's not important. And also, funny enough, it's not going to affect any rich person because the rich people know how to get around every single loophole and policy and roadblock that they're going to place in front of them. Like Donald Trump said, you can't bite the fingers of the people that donate to your campaign and sponsor your entire career.
Which is what? The rich. And when this is the funny part, the Democrats will be the main ones saying, "Oh, Republicans are in the pocket of corporations." But then when the Freedom Caucus, for instance, try to pass laws saying, "Hey, we should not be allowed to take lobbyist donations," all the politicians look at them like, "Bruh, oh, they can unite over that? Oh, don't touch my money."
So in the end, it's for one and the same purpose, to manipulate and appeal to the general masses so that they can continue to win votes and stay in power perpetually.
That's it.
And in the end, as usual, people would think it is right and fair to deprive people from enjoying what is rightfully theirs, all the while forgiving them of the penalty of consuming what isn't theirs, are the exact ones Thomas Sowell describes in his quote. There are many who find a good alibi far more attractive than an achievement. For an achievement does not settle anything permanently. We will still have to prove our worth anew each day.
Yep.
We have to prove that we are as good today as we were yesterday.
Yep.
But when we have a valid alibi for not achieving anything, we are
Racism, sexism. That's the alibi. You see it in identity politics. I reject it completely. I don't need no alibi. I want achievement. Every day I show up making these videos, I want achievement. I don't want no alibi. Oh, it's because I ain't getting subscribers because I'm black.
Nope.
No, you're not good enough yet, Kenny. Go get better. But, for some people, I just spoke Chinese. They're like, what? You actually going to judge me on the content of my character and not the color of my skin? What? Bruh. This is what our country has become. It's like we're regressing as a country now. And I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. Because if you want an alibi, you have no control over your life.
fixed, so to speak, for life. So when you have nothing and you really feel bad and insecure and empty because you're too lazy to actually get out there and take the opportunities available to you, it's much easier to point fingers at the people who are actually doing what you wish you were doing and enjoying what you can only dream of ever enjoying. And before you go, please tell us in the comments below.
And that's the end of the video, guys. I really did love that video, that great breakdown. If you want to watch the full thing without my commentary, the link is in the description below, as usual. I will reference some books and also in the description. Those things really do help me out. If you guys are willing, if you want to find some of these books and have some reading material, I highly recommend them. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys for watching to the end of the video, and I really do appreciate you guys' support. Hope to see you in the next video. Peace.